Can't believe I'm missing it.
Vader needs help up the stairs.
Oh. I never want to live that old.
He's crying.
That I need help up the stairs. I don't.
Oh, never mind. He did it.
Yay!
Yay job, Mater. Good job, buddy. You're a good boy. Rocket's like, who the fuck you talking to?
Oh, good boy.
Yeah. Who else, huh? Who else?
I bet you could say that to all the dogs, okay?
Yeah. I bet you say that to all of them. All the boys are good dogs.
Oh, you guys already start recording?
Yeah,
did, yeah,
because it was
cool.
funny. So I got
then
you
it got
going.
sad.
Yeah.
it was funny, and then it was really sad, and then it was good.
Yeah.
So it was like a whole
circle.
roller coaster.
Poor Mater.
Aw.
Oh, he's so old.
Well, at least now you can clap if you want to.
Okay, you ready?
You look like a little walrus thing, you know, on like this show.
I was talking about Mater, and then I was like, "Oh wait, she's talking about the show." Oh yeah, Okay, I'm
You're
done.
supposed to wait till there's silence before you clap. The whole point of the clap is so I can easily cut.
Okay, everyone, shut the fuck up for a second. Ready?
Hi guys.
That's so good.
We're doing so good, guys. Oh my god.
So good. I did my job. Whatever.
I don't edit for YouTube, so it's fine.
They get to see everything. Well, if you want to know what happened before we started this episode, check out our YouTube. Follow us, subscribe, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you guys see my cozy?
I was like, I didn't send you one yet.
No, I
almost
got
that
this from my book box. Okay.
Like,
yeah, Sonia,
they're
explain what you're making.
cock cozies.
Yeah.
So they are like socks for your dildos, and like they have like a little rooster charm on them. But like I kept like it took me so long to find the perfect size because I'm like, okay, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. And like I was like, no, because like if it's this big, like you'd be fisting yourself. And then apparently that ended up being the best size because it fits like most. But I'm gonna make a smaller one too for like tiny guys.
The little bullets. The little.
All sizes matter.
But all
It's
sizes
true.
matter.
It's true.
Yeah. So like a little one will fit like up to like a certain size, and the bigger
Are
one.
you gonna make a really long, girthy one for those double-headed ones?
No, you gotta like your little
You
gummy
should
worm.
make hydra one. Oh my god, you make it has multiple heads.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Have you guys watched oh, I don't know what it is. It's called Man Dating or something. I don't know, but it's like there's this one guy who's like a hentai monster, and like it's just dicks for like arms and hands and stuff. And his name's like Tanaka, and that's all he can say. It's like Tanaka, and like it's just like just dicks. Like I think it's fantastic.
No, I haven't.
Well, he might need a cock cozy too. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you need like so
Just name
many.
it Tanaka.
Just name that one the Tanaka. You know, Kyle mentioned the same thing. I had this exact conversation with Kyle. He was like, "Oh, you'll have to make one," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll call it Tanaka."
See? Marketing.
Market it quick. Where's your soundboard?
I don't have it up. I'm too scared to have things that use my mic on when I hop on here in case it fucks up. But yeah.
Fucking StreamYard.
It's like
Used to
the
be
best
so
program,
good.
though.
I know.
I know, but it's just not good to us. Like, it's good to others.
Listen,
It's just not to us.
one day, Apple Podcast is going to pick up our podcast, and then I can move there, and then we will all be able to record in the same location, and we won't need this kind of program. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a studio.
We'll be able
Fuck
to
yeah.
editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have our own offices. That's the
We might
dream.
have one office that we
There'll
share.
be one
Don't get
office.
greedy
Yeah.
now.
Well, I'm on my own. I want to share.
You're like, I just want somewhere to get away from the kids. Okay, like I just want to be like, I gotta go to work for the day. We record once a week, but you're like, I need to go.
We'll have the studio, and then like the rest of the week we like plot and edit
and brainstorm
and market.
and marketing and like the whole thing. So we need to be at work every day a week.
You'll have your little TikTok studio. So you'll have like a corner of the office that has like the ring light already set up and like a backdrop to like do all your TikToks.
We'll have to do TikTok videos everywhere all the time, whatever those TikTok people do.
Yeah. See?
Well, there you go. See, we just need to wait one day. One day.
Okay, so we are doing part 2, take 2. I don't know.
It's part 2 of our last week.
So I'll pass it to Sonia because we're gonna try to get through the points we meant to last time.
Yes, but does Dawn Marie want to do her?
No, Dawn Marie does not want to. Dawn Marie.
Fuck, I forgot. I'm so sorry, Dawn. I was like, she clapped. She did her job. Like, what else was there?
Jessica, what are you drinking this evening?
Oh, I actually have gossip because of this. Okay. So I'm drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon Strong, 5.9%. Okay. Something I always drink, right?
Yeah.
Chris went to the gym and the liquor store is right beside the gym. So he stopped in the gym to bring me some.
Smart marketing. I love that.
Anyway, these were the last 2 like 6-packs of this beer. And Chris overheard the guys saying they're not getting any new shipments anymore because who owns this? I can't remember. Whatever bigger company, not Pabst, but the company that owns Pabst, they are discontinuing this beer in Canada. So these could be the final ones I drink, guys. So
do you have
this
a
might be an
Why
end to an
Canada?
era.
Why just Canada? I want to know why.
I don't know. I thought I was keeping them in business, but apparently not.
Just you.
Jessica, you weren't doing enough. Like, you need to drink more. You didn't do enough.
But yeah.
Sonia.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
I'm already half done. I had a lot before. It's the same as before. It's my sangria. It's just cranberry ale.
She's loving the sangria.
It's so good. So like the cranberry ale is diet cranberry ale, which is it's cranberry ginger ale, everybody.
But you didn't know.
It's not that sweet, but white wine is sweet. So like you put them together and it's just like it's really good. Just like your basic white wine and pop.
Cranberry ale.
I wonder if I could convince my mother-in-law to try that because she has switched to white wines. She can't really do red wines anymore. And so every time I go over for dinner, it's always like a bottle of white wine. I wonder if she would agree if I mix in a little cranberry ale into it.
Bring cranberry ale, the diet cranberry ale. I feel like if it's the regular cranberry ale, it might just be too sweet. So like the diet cranberry ale. Yeah.
I honestly prefer white wine over red wine too, though.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Me too.
Whenever it's bitter, red wine is like so bitter.
It's not just bitter, it's like dry. Like that's like it gives you a dry mouth. Like it's and
I purple lips. And like
it fucking stains your teeth.
Fucking headache.
Oh my god, yeah. Like
what are you
that
doing?
wine headache is brutal. The wine hangovers.
Okay. I'm recording. You're ruining it. It's fine. So Kyle's making my birthday cake, and I get to lick it.
Yay! Okay, this is a fine interruption. It's okay.
Thank you. This is good. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I want a birthday cake now. Come on, Kyle.
He's gone. Sorry.
Fuck. I don't love him. Whatever.
No, I got chocolate over it. Hey, Gabby, what are you drinking? Yeah, I'm just licking my lips, but I don't want to be like a gross, like, blah, blah.
I'm just drinking bubbly, like, but in my cozy. Like, I have my cozy on it, and it's like just my bubbly, my water. Watermelon.
If that orange was yellow, it'd be like Charlie Brown.
Right?
I would.
But it's orange and black. It's like Halloween-y, but, and I know.
Halloween's good too. I'm just saying, it just reminds me of Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Sonia, do you want to continue this?
Okay, wait, I want to do a correction because last time I said the wrong words. I'm probably gonna be doing it again because I was like, so I said the wrong thing about hard and soft sciences. I said something and the emotional science, and that's not what I meant because I was fucking drunk. So I meant hard science is the structured, like there's not much room for switching it about, and soft science is the sciences that have the ability to change and update as needed. That's what I meant. So I had to switch it out because I didn't want to just leave it off as sounding like an idiot. I was like, I listened to it. I'm like, oh my God, Sonia, you're a fucking moron. So I didn't want to leave it as that. So
This is
also,
why it's a part 2. Okay?
that's right. I was like, no, I need to edit it. You know, like how there's like art magazine articles are like, oh, we fucked up last time. Like, yeah, last time we fucked up. Shit. Okay, yeah. So last
I'm making this correction because I'm not an idiot. What? What?
What? Okay.
Now, what was I saying?
It's just because she's been drinking since before we started recording, guys. Like before us. She was drinking before pre-drinking.
She's been drinking since like 2 p.m. You know, like she got off work and she's like pounding them back.
She's
like,
a professional, okay, guys.
It's fine.
We forgive you.
I
now
just
continue.
really like this drink.
It just tastes good. She's just drinking it for the taste.
That's exactly what it is. I'm like, it's like candy. It's so good. Okay, so last week we talked about Agenda 2030 and the UN. And then my point, we mostly did most of it. And then we just left off the 7 reasons why the UN is bad. And do you agree? So I have this little thing. Thank you, humanitariancareers.com. That has like why the UN is bad. And then you say if you agree or disagree and why.
Awesome.
That's pretty much that's it. I won't even go through their reasons.
I feel like this will take us an hour. Like this sounds realistically.
That's the 7. If we could stay on track, just these things. Yeah. Okay, one of the biggest, biggest issues, if you agree, it's too much power is held by a few countries. The first reason why the United States is bad is because it concentrates power in the hands of just a few countries. So there's the 6 and then the rest of them, but these 6 people have the most power. So do you agree or disagree?
It's the lunchroom method, right? Like you get the popular table, which is the 6, the UN, and then you have the rest of the freaking school, the countries, the world. That's that method. Like they think that they rule the world. They don't.
The colonizers. Like if you notice who actually holds the power, it's those that colonized and created a third world because they literally went in and took everything out of them. Like there was actually today, I believe, there was a vote on ending the embargo, the US embargo on Cuba, and 2 countries voted no. The US and Israel. Oh my god. And we talked about veto power and all that stuff last episode. So yeah, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I think it's a huge problem. It's one of the main reasons it needs to be completely abolished and restarted is because the whole purpose of the UN is moot point. Moot? Yeah. The Joey is moo point. So sometimes I always say the moo point, but it's moot point. Because they have these abilities to be like, no, we don't want to. So that just kind of like, then what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. does war crimes all the time, like all the time, for decades. You know, hundreds of years,
to prevent war crimes.
You know? Yeah, and it's like the UN doesn't do anything because what are they gonna do?
Right,
it's just gonna keep doing them, and that's pretty much is what Israel's doing at the moment because the only people that can stop them is the U.S. So it's
the U.S. doesn't want to. They have too much money invested in
much money. It's just like the
oil, opioids.
Yeah, a lot of the other wars that the U.S. went in to help support is they made sure the war kept going. This is my tinfoil hat. There is evidence, but like
There is evidence, yeah.
Conspiracies doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Conspiracies can happen.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
There's conspiracies
like,
all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just sound like a crazy person when I say it, but like the U.S. cause wars because it keeps them not their country. Like the citizens of the United States are like poor as fuck. It's just like the
when we
people.
yeah, I mean when we talk about like even when we talk about Israel, I'm not blaming the Israelis living
Citizens.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's when we're talking about like the global aspect of things, it's those that hold the power for those countries.
It's never the citizens.
Yeah.
It's always the military and government and big business. So those are the people.
And like some of the citizens are disgusting. If you've been on
Everywhere.
like pro-Israeli TikTok from like
Oh my god, no,
people that live there,
I don't want to
it's
talk
pretty
about
gross. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I also understand that if you grew up in that sort of framework, in that environment, in that world, the propaganda that you've experienced since birth is a lot. So if you're not getting outside media, I can understand why your thought process is that way. It's still wrong, but I understand.
Yeah. But that's a lot of different things, right? Like
it's conditioning. That's what it is. They're conditioning their people.
Yeah, and like China, they're having a lot of issues like that too. The Korea, it's one
Southern
of them.
American states.
Yeah,
Southern American states where they teach evolution and they teach they don't teach any sex ed and that kind of stuff. They're completely control the education so that people believe a certain religious framework. Yeah. In their public schools.
It's a very unfortunate thing. That's why the agenda, the 2030, if it was focused on us and not the manipulation of developing countries, it would be great because our countries really need it too. We need basic income. We need proper education, like rounded, free education. Like, yeah, we need those things. Those countries need those things, but it's being in a way where they'll rely on their saviors later, like it's
and they're not even providing those things it's like the same way they provide liberation by putting in soldiers. It's like, what are you doing? That's not how you liberate people, by shooting them. I don't understand. But
they're like
we put billions into this education project and it's just soldiers entering the country.
He's just like, that's what the brochure is. It's just like soldiers like smiling and then like bullshit happening behind them.
Yeah. They're holding a diploma, because it's education. But they're in soldier gear with guns. Yeah.
Well, no, because I just went to Nick's thing where we were looking at colleges and that, and there was of course the Canadian Air Force, Canadian Armed Forces was there, and so were the Hamilton Police. Like they were in like with the schooling, and I was like, oh no, gross. Like, Nick, this way. Like, let's go to actual colleges. Come on.
Police foundations is such a waste of money.
It is.
Because they don't actually want people with police foundation education. You need to have like a university get in. But you can't be smart. Like it's very tricky. It's all who you know, not what you know. Like
and everything you learn in police foundations, they teach you when you get hired in your training.
You're 6 months.
It's just so it's like you're gonna learn police foundations when they hire you to be a police officer. That's you're learning the foundations of your job. That's their job to teach you that. Like, what, you're paying a college course for that?
And so many people go in. So the Canadian Armed Forces, if you have like anxiety, like it's such an ableist thing. Like if you have anxiety, depression, you can't be medicated and you can't disclose it, or they'll be like, no. Like you could just like, doesn't have to be severe. Like if you had to take medication in the last 6 months during your application process, you're denied. Like it's gross. That's why like older people who realize they have anxiety and depression, they're like turned away. But younger people who are like, yeah, I just have teenage angst, I'm not going to diagnose, so it's fine. Those people get in. And then once you're already in, it's okay. You can have depression and anxiety. You just can't have it before.
My favorite thing is when people talk about like the next world war and like what if we have a draft, and a lot of people are like, well, women are going to be drafted too, and it's like that's not the point. We're all fucking diagnosed mentally ill with something or some form of long-term illness or autoimmune illness or some kind of shit we all have.
I'm not going anywhere.
Draft us. Yeah.
No,
Right?
nobody's going nowhere.
Not going anywhere. I'll just like, I'm medicated,
That's the
bitch.
Then they would have to lower their requirements for the draft. And my question is like always like, well, how would they like, well, if you only have mild anxiety but no hospitalizations, then maybe you still qualify. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 5 years.
I don't know. I got my folder on my chart, so I don't think they're gonna draft me. So I'm also like close to 40. I think they're gonna skip me. They're just gonna be like, eh.
It always just
It's not
depends
worth it.
how desperate they are. Because
That's
bodies
true,
is
but-
bodies,
I think other people are going
We
before
just
me.
know-
That's all
yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly. There's gonna be a lot of people before you, Don. You're fine.
Yeah,
You're
you're fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Like Kyle's ancestors were loaded. So when his grandpa was going to be drafted, they bought a farm, so they didn't have to go. That like not grandpa or great grandpa, like one of the timeline. Yeah,
Mhm.
so their family didn't have to go because they were wealthy.
Yeah. It's pretty
So
much
only
I
poor
mean,
people. But like
yep.
how desperate, well, right now you think about how poor people are now. You're like, oh, like I'm on the streets, I have no food, shelter. You join the army, like, because you're allowed now, because it's drafting time. And you go because you're like, well, now I'll have food. Now, like, I feel like that'll just be people getting taken advantage of, like they're like,
Prisoners? Like,
Well, that's what they did.
inmates?
I mean, that's what they did for Vietnam, right? There was
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
gonna
of
happen
people
again,
of
right?
color that ended up like joining the army, like
Yeah,
entering
that's
the
what they're
army at
gonna
that
do.
point because it was a guaranteed job. Even
Yeah.
guaranteed food. Like,
Yeah.
that was a bed.
shelter,
Even if it's not a comfy bed, but at least it's a bed.
And even like the idea of a career, like, if you have no prospects for your future and you have the idea like you could enter the army, you're learning skills like did the skills dependent on where you are, but it's like you're learning skills, you're finally like feeling productive, maybe, like especially like I've been in that kind of homelessness space, and it's
Mhm.
like you always feel like useless, like how could I, and it's like that just feeling of like I'm doing something productive, I'm doing
Mhm.
something, like it's just alluring
Mhm.
when you have nothing.
Yes. That's why it makes me laugh because like a lot of people are like, oh, if we just give people money, they're gonna be lazy. But like most of the people who are struggling right now want to be part of society. They want
Yeah.
to do things. They want
You
to
give
like
people
learn.
money.
They want-
They're gonna want to learn to pick up a trade. Like,
yeah, like make things more accessible to people. Like obviously there's people who ruin it for everyone, but like they're already in other countries like Finland. I think they have basic income.
Yeah.
Like they're like the happiest people. People are working. No one's like, they're just
they can
so
get cancer
lazy.
scans within weeks.
Not even like
Weeks.
Iceland, you can walk in
Yeah.
and get a whole body scan.
Yeah,
for,
because they have them in the
200
doctor's office.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
in the office. Yeah.
Like, you can just be like, hey, I found a lump. Okay, like, next hour, you're up. Like,
Yeah.
meanwhile, here, you have to wait months. And by then, like, that cancer's spreading. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have the ability to have that, but we don't because our government's like, pocket.
Well, and
well,
every
you can't even get blood
study.
work.
Sorry, go.
No, sorry. I was just saying we can't even get blood work without being charged now. Like, I was getting blood work done, and I needed my vitamin D checked, and they now charge you to get your vitamin your vitamin D checked. Like,
They
why?
charge you to get your vitamin D checked unless you have a condition that requires constant checking
Yes.
that is OHIP approved with a doctor. Because I had to pay for Ernest's blood testing, my child's blood testing to get his vitamin D checked a couple times before he was finally diagnosed with the condition, in which now it's OHIP covered.
Yeah.
So
But they can't find anything in my blood to like diagnose me with anything.
Yeah.
So now I have to pay every time.
Now they're doing
Even if you have a
random tests, yeah.
deficiency where like you have to get tested for that, they don't care. They're like, no. Unless it's an actual disease or like a permanent like
Until
illness. No.
diagnosis. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Every
This is
day.
what
Yeah, it's
capitalism
disgusting.
does. Capitalism requires profit. Profit always means like making more money.
The nurse was like agreeing though. She's like, yeah, like if these doctors didn't always like make us like have to do all these unnecessary tests, like they're so expensive. I'm like, I pay taxes.
Right.
Like that's what your arguments are always is like taxes. Okay, I pay taxes. Give me a full fucking workout. Every goddamn month. I want my body checked. I should be able to. I pay taxes.
It's just like, yeah, it's very, but like always are like, well, it's unnecessary. No, until you fucking figure out what's wrong with me, it's necessary. Like,
Right.
give me everything. I've just given up. I'm like, you know what? We like talk about how I'm gonna go, but like, it is what it is. One day, I'm just like, yeah, it's sad, but you know,
I'm the same way. I'm done
Yeah.
with doctors. I'm done with the hospital. If I die in my sleep, replay this soundbite at Hamilton General, at St. Joseph's, Hamilton, to my family doctor, to West Hamilton Urgent Care Clinic. Yeah, just keep playing this soundbite because you know I tried.
I gave them 2 decades, okay? 2 decades of my life trying to figure out what's going on. And no doctor and like specialists, they don't take you unless you have a fuck. We've already gone in circles about this. We already talked about it. Fuck you. That's it. We're on that. All right, let's go to the next one. It can't prevent wars. As we know what's going on right now, the whole point of the UN was to prevent wars. It's not doing that.
No.
So do you agree that that is a problem?
Yes. Yeah. It's because the countries that have the most power are the ones that are doing the wars.
They're doing the warring. That's it. And then you get like a lower tiered bad government doing the warring, and then the top tiered governments like, no, you can't do that.
That's one of them.
And then they take over.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. The top tier goes there and takes over the warring. But like low tiered people can't war, only the top tiered people.
Yeah, like you're not like, think of it like bullies, you know? Like if you're a small little scrawny guy, you're not going to go up to this big tall guy and be like, I'm picking on you. You know, like that doesn't make any sense. But the big guy comes and like just taps you a little bit, you know, because he's a big guy, then you're going to feel it because you're a little kid. And I feel like that's what it is. It's these big ass countries using their big ass weaponry on these small ass countries just to take their resources. And that equals war.
That equals war. Because that's how they built up like that, right? Like that is, they took from those countries already. Like that's, yeah, they stole.
Yeah, they haven't ended their colonization projects yet.
They're calling it different things. Like they're getting different countries, like they're backing other countries to make it happen. You know, like it's secret.
It's Mean Girls.
It's mean.
They're like the Mean Girl countries. Yeah, like, you can't sit with us actually. And then they go and they
told you
like,
it's a popular table, right? Like you're in the lunchroom. It's the lunchroom method.
Lunchroom. Okay, I thought you were calling it the mushroom method, and I was so confused.
Lunchroom. The lunchroom method.
Okay, well, yeah.
The UN is very clicky. It is very clicky.
Lunchroom makes so much more sense.
There we go. Now you understand.
But like Jessica's like, yeah, like she understood too. I'm like, how do I not understand what's happening? What the fuck is the mushroom method?
Like a fungus? Like it spreads? What are you talking?
I was gonna have to like look it up later. I was like, what is the mushroom method in schools? Oh man.
Oh my god.
No, but yeah, they don't stop wars.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They create them, if anything.
Another example of United Nations being effective in ending a conflict is the Syrian civil war. This has continued for nearly 10 years and cost more than 350,000 lives, as well as displacing over 13 million people.
Yep.
The United Nations has not been able to end the bloodshed in Syria. Like that was like an example of their
lack of usefulness.
They need to update that because now there's a few more wars going on that they can't end.
Yeah, I think
they can't even end the embargo on Cuba, for fuck's sakes. Like they can't end shit.
I'm pretty sure North Korea and South Korea are still going at it. Taiwan's getting it from all ends now. Like Taiwan, like poor Taiwan. Have you guys been following that?
Yeah, I was actually I thought China was gonna invade on October 8th. Actually,
so did I.
That's what I thought. I was like, they're gonna use this opportunity now that the U.S. is split between two wars to fucking invade. But I'm surprised they they have their political disagreements, but I'm surprised they didn't like set foot in and invade yet. So
they will.
Everything going on.
There's been so much in the last couple of years with China and Taiwan.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah, there's just so many other countries like that. And like United States, like Hawaii, they don't want United States there. All the tourism there, like they're just like, ruining our land, like our
resources.
Cuba,
like yeah,
Puerto Rico,
Dominican Republic, like all of those. Like, well, they're like, stop coming here, you fucking white people. Yeah, and they don't.
Yep.
It's like yeah, like the people who are actually like crying, like quit it, like please don't come here for a little while, like. But then you got people just fucking moving there because they can.
Colonization.
Yeah,
because they're buying the land now.
Yeah, that's
what like they're cheap and to build.
Owns so much land in Hawaii. It's ridiculous. Like so much land in Hawaii is owned by Oprah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was the part. Like,
oh, we heard The Rock did their like little thing. Like, bitch, you have the money, you own it. Like, fucking
read the room, Oprah. You're a billionaire. When we see Eat the Rich, that includes Oprah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Oprah. You're gonna.
I'm not.
Tasty. Yeah.
She likes bread. She's gonna taste good.
It's because she's grain fed. Is that what?
Yeah. Yeah. Free range,
grain fed.
Yeah. Compared to like
humans.
Well, like I know The Rock, he just eats like lots of chicken. I don't know if like the protein. I don't know. I feel like he'll be
salt, pepper, some little bit of barbecue sauce. It'll all taste good going down.
You know? Yeah.
I think he has too much protein.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had like so much protein drink?
So he's gonna be tough to eat. Then I feel he's gonna be like tough to eat. You know,
slow cooks.
Yeah, slow.
Yeah.
Like oh yeah. Like a pig roast. You know how you have that underground pig roast that takes like 12 hours?
Yeah.
And, like, your whole neighborhood comes over and like it's underground and like you'd have to like dig a hole to do it.
Cold,
I don't know if I have
like,
to edit any of this out, but I feel like Oprah would be really good in a puff pastry, like as an advertiser.
With some brie cheese,
right? And then The Rock is like the main, like has all the sauces and stuff, and people will like come and get their like pieces. They could we'll have buns if they want to make sandwiches out of it.
We talked about this before. With like
this is an early
conversation.
Episode. Deep
it wasn't The Rock. It was somebody else.
I think that was Musk.
It was, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it was.
I thought it was Donald Trump that we were going to try to cook and eat.
It was another roast. Like I just love pig.
Yeah, it was Donald Trump. We were cooking.
I just love a good cookout, guys.
This is all jokes. Obviously, we're not eating people.
Yeah.
Until you went to the Opinionated Luscious cookbook.
Oh my god, can we? That'd be great.
I
We'll
was
just
like,
It's like how to eat like a poor person and eat rich people.
Yeah.
how to cook like a poor person eating rich people.
No. Eat the rich and eat poorly. I don't know.
No.
We'll work on the title.
Yeah. Something with like ramen noodles because you're poor. So like
Yeah.
it has to be like ramen noodles.
But you still have to eat the rich.
Yeah, so you just mix it. You gotta like what is that Korean barbecue kind of thing? Like it's like you have really hot water and you throw
like pho? No,
they make it for you.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I forget what it's called. It might not even be Korean, and I'm totally being an asshole. It's Asian over in there, and it's hot water at your table, and you get to throw in your own veggies and stuff, and then it cooks.
You're talking about hot pot.
Yeah, but
hot pot. That's Japanese, isn't it?
See,
I don't know.
I feel like we're going to be offensive.
I know at Korean barbecues they do have like the cook your own meat thing.
Yeah, that's a grill.
The middle. Yeah, they have like the grills in the middle where you can
But the hot pot is different. I'm pretty sure it's Japanese, but I'm not 100%. So
we need to ask that the TikToker we keep talking about, Suji.
Suji.
Send her a message and ask.
Yeah,
we need to know.
Hey,
but we could do that, like our rich people, the ramen.
What kind of meats? What kind of cuts would be good off a human body? And because I know like some ramens have like steak cuts, some have like chicken in it, some have
the fried egg.
Oh my god, I'll take Oprah's eggs. Just fucking crack them in my ramen.
Okay, wouldn't that be like I don't know? That's like caviar. Human eggs are
I'm little.
They're like smaller than fish eggs. You're gonna have to like it's like not even gonna be that much. It'll be a tiny little cube.
No, I have to like give her hormones right before just so I can get a bunch of eggs to accumulate.
But they're gonna be old eggs. Are they really gonna be good? Like
that's fine. You know what? I actually saw. Speaking of the TikToker, we were talking.
Sugi or
Suji. No, it's like Sujian or some. I don't have my phone on me. Normally, I have my phone on me. I don't. My daughter's been addicted to my phone, but I follow her on TikTok. But she just ate I think it's called like a century egg or something. It's an Asian food that a lot of like influencers have been trying to eat, and I say trying to eat because of course they like do the this is disgusting, blah blah, just because it's not their culture and they're weird. And of course, she like tries it, and it's like it looks like an egg, but it comes in like this package. You unpeel it, and it's like is I will be honest, like a gross color. It's like a green, like it looks green, but she's like it smells like regular egg. She eats it. She's like it tastes like a hard boiled egg, just like more flavorful. And I'm like I totally believe that. Like looks like it's preserved really well. The color was off-putting for me, but I also didn't like the purple ketchup that white people tried to push on us. No,
oh my gosh, from the 90s,
right? No, it's not just that. But yeah, so anyway, let's move on. What's the next one?
So like I feel like these are all repetitive. They're saying the same things over and over again. So the UN is all talk and no action. Like the Agenda 2030, how in theory that's great, but if they do implement, it's only for countries that they can manipulate. But the chances are they're not going to do anything.
No.
So that is something I agree with. That it's a waste.
Agree.
Agree. So we'll go to the next one. It's because it kind of ties in. It has no real power. Like it's just a club. I feel like you just go to say that you like. I sit on the UN.
The one thing I do like about the UN is that it kind of gives us us public people a look at the stances of our countries, because we get to see who abstains on an issue, who agrees, who disagrees. And And so people that are aware of that can kind of see like a lot of the things they say about like the US. I'm always like, did you know the US voted against this? Did you know the US voted against this? Like food as a human right, or did not kill inmates for a little bit, stuff like that to freaking end the embargo in Cuba. Like it's like this is what your country is voting like against. This is what
the leaders of your country, like you need to sure you need to focus on what they're doing to your country, but you should be focusing on what they're voting on for other countries too.
But even then, if they're voting that like food isn't a human right, that means in your country too, like food's not a right for you, right?
Right. That's like you need to pay attention to what's happening. What they're saying behind closed doors, right? Just because they're not publicly saying it when on platforms in your country, you should be listening what they're saying in other countries.
Yeah. Did you guys ever have like the UN, mock UN at your school?
No.
We had mock Olympics.
Yeah.
That was fun. But nothing of importance.
We had mock UN. I was too nervous to be a part of it because I wasn't very like aware of the world at that point. But I love the idea because it seemed like it was like a debate and a performance. And basically, you go and you get, if you sign up, you get a country, and then you get like a week to like prepare. And then you all are at your own desks, and the teacher's the moderator, and they're putting up world issues, and you as your country, and you have to like know your economics and shit of your country, get to like decide how you can help.
It sounds like a high school class.
It was an extracurricular. People did this on their downtime in high school.
I did not go to high school.
Yeah. So it was always funny to me because it like even that is propaganda to make the UN look good, because they only talk about ways in which they can help. Like you can't like be like, no, I'm not gonna help your country. Sorry, not my problem. Like that's
then
not
like the teacher would be like, no, you can't be like that. But like that's so that like they did it too positive.
Yeah. So it's like propaganda. If you're like a high schooler and you're like doing this UN, you're like, look how I helped the world playing whatever country I was playing. And it's mostly like white kids playing like other countries, because they're the ones with the time to do all these extracurriculars. But yeah, so it was like propaganda started young about the UN.
Yeah. Always, if you want to do any type of propaganda, you need to start on the younger kids.
That's start in the schools.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's why like they're saying, like that's why the Million March, right? They're like, no, we can't have that, because then that they're saying it's propaganda, and we're like, no, telling them the other way is propaganda, but it's just a safe space. Nobody's teaching really, unless there's questions. They just want the information in case there's questions. But they're like, no, don't just blind everything.
If your kid says they're gay after learning definitions and new words, they were probably already feeling different, and they finally found a way to express themselves.
Yeah,
exactly. Unless except for like, well, not except, but this is like really big with the neurodivergent community, because when you get a lot of information and a lot of personas, like learning about different types of people, you're still learning how to be a person yourself, and you will mask as different things. Like you'll mask as like a gay person, you'll mask as like, because we also don't conform to social identities, right? Like a girl has to be a girl, a boy has to be a boy, right? So we're already mixed up, so like I think there needs to be more information provided. Like there should be more kind of counseling for individuals struggling, because a counselor will know, they'll be able to talk you through it. Is this you, or is this someone you think you should be?
I do think there should be more gender-based training in the like counseling, psychological, social work fields, because I feel like a lot of their training when it comes to like gender ideologies and stuff is they chose to learn that It's not like, besides the basics, they don't really have to continue. Like some counselors are very specific with that and they understand that. And other counselors are like, well, I don't agree. Like there's there's biggest in every profession. And I feel like that,
yes.
that's, yeah.
Yes. And there's too many counselors only able to support neurotypicals.
Yes.
You get your book and you stick to your book and you can't get away from it. So we had trouble with therapists for our kids. Like none of them could. They're just like, no, you have to do it this way. And like, no, it's not working. But then one of our kids had this amazing therapist here, but she left and now is the school counselor, which is good for her. It's great, but I'd really rather her as a therapist. Like she's amazing.
No, I totally get that because we got my son therapist that specifically works with neurodivergent now that we have his diagnosis, and it's like she works with him and she talks a lot about like, oh, how did that interaction go? Like not just how'd your day go? How did that? He'll talk about some specific social whatever. To be like, oh, well, how do you feel the interaction go? Like how did that work? Maybe we can work on different ways to reframe that for the next time. And she works on like almost scripting, almost helping create scripts while she's also giving like insight and that therapy portion. And I feel like that is really important in therapists when they're talking to neurodivergent individuals. Like you can't just like say, oh, this, figure it out. You have to really be very particular in your words and script it for us. Yeah.
And adapt. You need to be able to adapt. Like not each neurodivergent kid's the same.
And be understanding when we lie. Be understanding when we lie. Because sometimes we'll like say something. And like I was in therapy since I was like 12 years old. And sometimes I would lie just so I had something to talk about because I didn't know what to talk about. And then I was always feel embarrassed to be like, actually, that wasn't the truth. If they say actually that wasn't the truth and re-explain, just like move on. Just like accept that and move on. Because like the lie was just like a protective instinct, I promise.
Yeah, the lie was just to be pretending to be a person.
Like that. Exactly. It's like, how was your day? Oh, it was great. I did this, and this. I didn't do any of those things, but I just felt like I had to say something because if I had nothing to say and I said I didn't do nothing, I stared at the wall for 6 hours, you might think I'm weird.
Yeah. Oh, like I don't like lie to people. Like people are like, oh, how's it going? I always say, because I don't know what they want. But then like it's good though. Like I play board games with people and they'll be like, oh, didn't you just do this? I was like, oh, I did. Like so like I like those kinds of people. They're like, they pay attention. They're like, oh, you just did this. Like, give me more detail. I was like, oh, I can do that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being so specific with what you're asking.
No, they're so great. Thank you, board game people.
That's amazing.
All right. So on here, there is a United Nations online course. If you want to learn more about the United Nations and why it's bad for the world, we highly recommend this online course, Global Diplomacy, the United Nations in the World, offered by SOAS in London. So there you go. It'll let you go through that. But there's just, if you want to education. All right. The United Nations gives legitimacy to terrible regimens.
Yes. I agree with that. Like the US.
Yeah. Out of 193 United Nations member states, only 26 are classified as full democracies. This means the majority of the countries in the United Nations have only partially democratic and inclusive political systems or are fully dictatorial regimens.
Well, okay, I want to know what they say because they say the U.S. is a democracy. They say Canada is a democracy. Those are false because not all votes count, right? We don't have a democracy government. We have first past the post. That's not a democratic way things work. And it's the same with the electoral thing. Yeah, the electoral governance in like the states, the way each county kind of works, and they get their electoral governor person who does, so like not every vote counts, and if that's the case, it's not a democracy. It's like Israel being an ethno state means it's not a democracy just by definition.
So their thing is the United Nations treats all countries equally. Although this is admirable in some ways, it creates a false equivalence between open and free countries in some of the worst regimens in the world. So they have the same UN, well, except for the veto people, they have the same.
I know. So it's not even.
That's not even the same.
Because some of the worst colonizers in the world have veto power.
Yes. So another reason why the UN can be terrible is that it often gives formal legitimacy to repressive regimens. An example of this was when China and Russia, governments with very poor human rights records, were elected UN's Human Rights Council.
What about the US? Is the US on the Human Rights Council?
They probably are.
They probably are. They've done the same shit as Russia and China. This is why I get freaking mad at this, because I'm just like, the US has done the same shit. The same shit. And they're like, the US is special exceptions, though.
Yeah, no, this isn't an American thing, though.
No. They're probably libs. They're probably liberals. They're probably like center left. Like they're still like, notice how they're not saying capitalism should be like, so they tend to be more on the liberal side, where they're like, no, capitalism in the system is fine. Like the Western way things are is fine. We just need to like make the rest of the world kind of.
No, this is a terrible way. Do not. Western world is fucked. No, thank you. We need like the Northern. What is? They have a name. The system,
like the Nordic.
Countries? Yeah, they have like there's like 7 of them, and their system, their neurotic system. I said that so wrong. They're like socialists, but better.
They're social democrat. They're social democracies. So they're still a capitalist society, but their safety nets are much better.
Yes.
So, but those are slowly being eroded. Like the UK used to be pretty decent, but its healthcare is being eroded. Same in France and stuff like that. So, like I said, capitalism always wins. So they're just a little ahead of us, but soon, like as we reach the United States level, they'll start reaching the Canadian level. You know what I mean?
And then they'll still look better.
They'll still look better. Exactly. We'll still look at that and we won't realize how bad we have it now. It's the same. It's like our economy's worse than the 30s, than the Great Depression.
Yes.
Right. But we don't realize it. We're like, no, we're fine.
We're like burned. What is it? Frogs in a pot?
Yeah, the frogs in a boiling pot. If you turn the temperature up just lightly, a little bit.
Frogs in a pot. That's what we're doing. So again, this is pretty much, this is the same complaint, just reworded differently. The UN cannot resolve many global issues.
No shit.
Yeah, because of the vetoing. Like the first main issue is the veto, and so everything else kind of falls under that.
Yeah,
like there are gonna be continuous issues. I do have like an issue like with the human right. Like how can they? That's my big. I hate that the most. Is like how can these countries who hate certain humans be able to actually stand on a council who's supposed to be supporting humans? Like that's what I hate the most. But there's so much I hate.
I know. And like the people that like work there for a lot of these countries are fucking demons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like for you to be able, like I've been watching a lot of the UN debates, especially because of the Israeli war on Gaza. And it's like, how can you stand up there and just like completely disregard an entire sect of human? Like, and just act like they're like nothing. Like, I always think about like the button question. Like, if there was a red button in front of you, and if you pressed it, someone would die. If you didn't press it, someone you loved would die. Would you press the button? And it's always like, I would fucking have tried.
I'd press it right away.
Well, I would press it. Well, I would press it. That's not a question.
Yeah.
The question is, like, I would still hurt that someone else fucking died. Like, it's a fucking human being, and that's one life.
Yeah.
So how can you stand up on the UN Council and be like, oh yeah, no, we only killed 3,000 children this month.
Only.
So the problem with that, like the whole like dying thing, I would want them to elaborate. Like, is it my grandma who's dying, and do I save a child? Because I'll fucking kill my grandma and let that child live.
Yeah.
Like, love my grandma, but she lived her life, and this child's not going to live.
Question. You're
The
like,
trolley
I
question.
need to see who's dying to make an accurate decision.
Like, I don't care. I'll kill off my family. Like, you know, I'll
Depends on
sacrifice
who
a
it
few
is.
of them, actually. Save a couple of innocents.
Like, you're like, wait, tell me what family's on the lineup, and I'll give you a different answer. Okay, let me know.
Just wait. Like, I can't actually get rid of my family. Is that what you're telling me? Like, sign me up.
Compare and contrast. Okay, give me a list.
It's like, I need to know. And then is the other person, like, are they like decent, or are they like the grandma I'm trying to get rid of? Not you, grandma. I love you. But it was theoretical.
My grandmas are already dead, so I'm good with saying my grandma, right? Like, I can say my parents too. They're dead too. So like,
but like, right? Like, if you have like, I'm gonna say a bad uncle again. I love you, my uncle. And then like, there's a bad other human. Like, can I decide which one's the worst human?
Yeah.
Like, can we pick and choose? Like, yeah.
Can I just pick a random person I can kill off? Like,
okay, well, now you know if it's 3,000 children, you wouldn't press the button.
Right? Yeah,
so we're already better than Israel.
Already better.
Already better.
Oh,
I didn't put a trigger warning on this one, but I hoped UN Part 2 was
like good enough.
Yeah.
I think there should be like a trigger warning maybe for all of them, but like if you've gotten this far already and you still need trigger warnings,
we are listed as explicit content, so
yeah, cover your
age
ears.
Restriction.
Yeah,
earmuffs.
Earmuffs. I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. Not really though.
I mean, no, not at all.
No.
I'll ruin Christmas again. I don't care. That's it.
I'm killing grandma, for fuck's sake. So like
I'm not even going for Christmas this year, so I am ruining it in a way. So
yeah,
it is what it is. I ruined it twice in a row so far.
Keep the streak going.
Keep the streak going. Yes, fantastic. Why not?
Do we have any more UN things that we
No,
don't
that
agree
was
with?
the end. That was
the end.
That was all the same things. All like the UN is a problem. Is that like what it rounds up to? Is fuck those guys. I don't even think there's another like people in the running right now. Like usually there's other groups and stuff, and I can't think of any group right now who would be better. Except for us. We should be
the UN.
The UN.
The OL.
Yeah.
I think until we can and by we I mean like the countries realize that capitalism and our current systems of colonization and imperialism are the problem. No matter how many times we destroy the UN and rebrand, it's always going to be the same.
Do you have anybody you would want on the UN?
Cuba.
Cuba's on the UN.
Cuba, with I want them to be able to end their own embargo. That'd be pretty cool.
In the new UN?
They get veto power over the US.
I would pick people of no prizes. You'd have to prove yourself already, in different categories. Although I think those are a boys' club too.
I think the United States, each state should be able to join the UN separately
as their own
as their own thing, and because they don't agree on anything.
Nothing.
So why should they all get one spokesperson? I feel the US should break into 50 people.
They're all their own countries.
Vetoes. They're all act as their own countries on the UN Council.
I feel that should be also with the Canadian provinces and territories.
I agree.
We all should They should all get their own. Like the UN's already like going to be 200 people, but I feel like there should be a wide variety.
Yeah, just like we should increase the Supreme Court in the U.S. You know, you're representing a large group of people. You should have a large group of people deciding
representing.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the UN should definitely be like a couple hundred. Like that's how it should be.
Hell, you should even have like members of like the top 5 political parties of each country.
Yes, that should be it too. Like different opinions.
I say top 5 because like we're in Canada and we have a top 3 and that's not working out for us because you know, our leftist NDP party still has pro-Israeli, pro-landlord people on it. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Poor NDP.
Well, this was UN Agenda 2030 Part 2. Thank you for this topic, Sonia. It was 2 hours of
yeah, it just like really upset me that people are so misinformed, and like we went on this whole entire different tangent. It started because in a homesteading group, this 1 million march person backed this one bill to pull us out of the UN when there's so much other fucking bullshit. And it's not even a good reason, right? No. It's just because of the world peace agenda that's never going to happen. So like there's so many other reasons.
I know, that's the thing. And they were like, pull us out of the UN because it's worthless. And actually, I wouldn't even trust that though, because then that means they never have to vote on these things. So we never know the country's stance. So I would still not trust it. But at least if they came out with that reasoning that the UN is useless, I'd be like, okay, I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Not our sovereignty. You don't even know what that means.
What about Planned Parenthood and Bill Gates?
Yeah. But like there's nothing of a sovereignty really in the one bill. It was just as one woman, just like sovereignty. It just like you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. So.
They're just dog whistles. They let all the other people that are like, yes, we need sovereignty. No.
You don't even know what that means.
No, they don't. They're freedom fighters.
They're just like, we need donkey punches. That was it. It's pretty much the same fucking thing.
Okay, so I just, because it's November 10th when this comes out, I do want to say we do have a giveaway on our Instagram for some merch and a signed Techno vinyl that'll be up until the 15th. So if you're listening to this episode on the day it comes out, you have 5 days still left to enter, as well as I want to always thank our VIP Patreon, Stephanie Hurst. Hey, Stephanie, I hope you felt heard. We always want to make sure. How are you? How is your day?
How was that situation?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really good to hear.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that part sucks. But yeah, you know, like I get it.
Yeah. No, we totally understand. Thank you, Stephanie. Always love talking with you. And also, I do want to plug on December 2nd is our 16-hour Tipsy All The Way fundraising 16-hour live stream where we are raising money for 3 great local causes, and we have prizes if you're in the Hamilton area, and we also have prizes if you're not. Bingo cards, 50-50, giveaways, guests, all the things. Follow us on all of our socials to see what's up, and email us if you want to know how to get involved. And we also have commercial space available, lots of things going on. So check out our socials and see how you can get involved. In our website, we do have a fundraising tab on there with all the information as well. I'll link that below.
Good.
Anything I missed?
No, that was like, I was like, nope, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just always like, I pause and I'm like, okay, anything I missed, they'll catch it.
No, I was paying attention the best I could, and I didn't notice anything.
So. Okay, if I did miss anything, I'll add it to the description below. Paps, please don't give up on me. Please. I'm begging you. And the UN, please, you're very unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
I'm doing my best here, okay? Okay, I guess we'll see you all next week with maybe a more lighthearted topic. I don't know. It'll be the wheels decision.
The wheels decision. Oh, it's good. It's not a guess, so it's fine. It could be whatever it wants.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have a
poor
good night,
guy.
guys.
Good night.
Bye.